Hey, what is going on, guys? It's your boy Az. We are back here. We're going to be running the full run of 660 mods here. People have been asking me for it, and I know that I just haven't had the time to piece all the footage together. So here you guys have it. We're going to quickly do the full run, basically start to finish. And of course, as well, I'll show the roster check here before we begin. And do let me know in the comments below if you guys have any questions on it. We did do a few of the other nodes already, like 1 and 2 and 10. So I won't attach the commentary side to that stuff, but I will link it in the description if you guys do want it as well. Okay, so quick roster check. The first node, we run the Phoenix Force 3 plus Mefisto Odin. We've already kind of covered that, so I won't really talk too much about it. Our Daring Warriors, that's for the second node. We've got Eclipse, G20, Healer, Speedball, Healer, Daredevil, Striker, Night Thrasher, Striker, and Storm, also Striker. I did have to bring up some of these guys to Purple L5 just for the extra stats, but if you guys have the gear tiers and the stars, you may not necessarily need to have that. But I did find that it helps. And then, of course, the infamous node number 3, where people are struggling so much with. This is one where we had previously built up our Phoenix Force from the first node, and we use Phoenix Force 3 plus Storm. She's going to stun the Night Stalkers there, or at least Blade, I guess. And then we're going to be able to get the Mass Blind as well from Magneto. And Emma Frost is key here as well because she cancels a lot of that speed from their bonuses. So G19s on Storm, and then everybody else is literally G20s, 105 all across the board. So that's the mutant team. And then we switch things up with the fourth node, which is insanely crazy if you got War Buffs active. We got Professor Xavier here. He's going to be able to kind of land a killing blow. The important thing to know here is when you're finishing off node 3, you need to make sure Professor X has his special and his ultimate ready. And you guys will see that Storm will come in clutch because she's going to be able to basically, quote unquote, be our Professor Xavier. When she uses her ultimate at max charges, she's going to be able to kind of keep everything, destroyed for us so that Xavier doesn't have to do his abilities or specials. And New Mutants, this is kind of the minimums, I think. You may be able to do it with less, but this is what I found was kind of the most effective. Everyone's G19, Magic's 100, and also 100 on Sunspot. He's going to be good for the ability block as well. So that's it for the first 4. Then we switch over to Symbiotes. Symbiotes, I think people usually, when they get to this section, is very, very straightforward just because Null, Quicksilver, all that stuff. I ran this team initially the first couple times, and then after we built up our Symbiotes, then we started, I guess I need to update this. We'll update it here now. We started running our Quicksilver, and you can throw in Toxin. If you got Toxin or whoever in there, you can start throwing them in the mix as well, but it really doesn't matter. I found that this, just whatever you have kicking around, you're going to be able to kind of steamroll through those sections fairly easy. 6, we're not going to, we'll skip through the footage when Mefisto drops because that's the fairly, I think that's the difficult part, fighting Mefisto and watching for the timing. But once you get the timing down, then you can also take down Mefisto. And then section 7, we use our best buddies, Spider-Man plus, actually Xavier. Xavier actually shouldn't be in here. It should be Apocalypse. My apologies, friends. I'm just realizing that I'm getting sloppy here. I should have touched this up a little bit. So it should be Apocalypse. And when you finish off with Apocalypse and it's gonna be a sack wave, then you can go in there with your Professor Xavier and New Mutants, or you can do Professor Xavier and Phoenix Force. It really doesn't matter. You guys will see that I actually utilize Phoenix Force there, and it makes it fairly easy. And then yeah, you can bring in Old Man Logan Nightcrawler for the last mutant section, which is very easy in case anybody dies off. And then you kind of go back up to the top into the Symbiotes because that's number 9, and we finish things off again with Daring Warriors. And I don't know if I'll do commentary for the last node because I've already done gameplay of it, so I'll link that one as well. I think I've done 1, 2, and 10 already, and then basically this one, I just want to include it all so it's easy for you guys to find. But I'll link the videos so you guys have it in all in one spot. Okay, again, I've already ran this one, did a video on it, did the commentary. You just want to control it. Do the mass blind for Magneto. Use Omega Red to ability block and to extend the blinds. And yeah, literally, that's kind of it. You can kind of control the board utilizing this strategy, and it also keeps your characters nice and healthy as well. So hopefully you guys can see that there. Okay, so that was one. Again, no two we've already done in another video, and I'll link it in the description. But yeah, it's all about the drop. You just want to make sure you get the timing just right, so that when Jeff the Land Shark drops, we can hit the slow. We can throw the ability blocks on null, and then of course as well, trying to make sure everybody's healthy and ready to go when that wave drops as well. If your characters aren't up to snuff and our turn meters and turn bars aren't up to snuff either, it's going to create a very difficult time for you to get through this. And it is, I would say, in my opinion, out of the 3 nodes that require Daring Warriors, I would say this one is probably the hardest. But that's just because I feel like if you have higher stars on your characters, it may be easier. But I don't find the number 6 to be too bad, just because it's all about Mefisto. I'd rather deal with Mefisto than deal with Jeff, because we literally have to kill Jeff before he takes that first turn. Whereas Mefisto, we can let him get away with a couple hits, and we're still okay. So again, like I said, it's all about the drop. Once you figure out and you get your timing just right, and you leave, whoever your last 2 characters are, work on those cooldowns, get everybody's health back up. The triple ISO 8s on the healers also helps. If you need some extra healing, pop an extra ISO 8 in there. But like I said, I've already done the gameplay of it, and I've done the commentary as well, so I'll attach that in the description if you guys want to watch the full thing. But the important thing, like I said, here is watching that drop. Jeff drops. We got the ability block or the slow right after, and this helps basically control. So yeah, again, the special here would help control null, get that ability block onto him so he can't use his ultimate. And then yeah, Storm or Eclipse going right on Jeff here as well, applying that silence, and then yeah, throwing that slow right after here to slow everybody down. Okay, now on to the fun one. So this one is fun because, like I said, you want to make sure you can keep your Professor Xavier's abilities and cooldowns and everything in check when the next node drops. Because if the next node, if he's not ready to go, it's going to be really difficult to clear it. So this is nice. I like Storm because she throws the mass slows and the stuns. This also prevents, if Blade is stunned, he also prevents the flips on the speed as well. Otherwise, he'll flip it to speed up. So this is where it's nice. And then, like I said, you're probably going to get tempted here to use a special. Unfortunately, the only way to ensure that we get to the next node with all the cooldowns is to ensure that Professor X is always going to use his basic here. So he's not going to use his ultimate or his special once in this entire battle. And yeah, from that point on, it's just about controlling it. Omega Red's going to extend all the blinds just from his basic. So he can extend things. And yeah, like I said, it's all about just watching the board and controlling basically the characters that are on and keeping everybody healthy. For the most part, a lot of these guys are just going to stay blinded. But just keep in mind, Magneto, when he uses his basic, he causes disruption. And if Professor Xavier attacks anyone that's disrupted, he's going to cause the blind. So we speed it up because it's slow. Just take your time with it. Get the cooldowns. Keep the constant blinds. And you guys will get through it. Like I said, try a little bit of practice with it. The important thing here is you want to really, really take your time, because when the next wave drops, when we get down to the last couple guys here and the next wave drops, it's very, very important that Storm's ultimate has full charges, because her ultimate's right. She's ready to use it pretty much from the get-go, but we want to save it so that right when these guys drop, Storm's going to absolutely destroy these guys. What you can do too here is throw the ultimate on Apocalypse, so that Apocalypse basically gets killed by his teammates, right? And this makes it so easy for Storm to do her thing when Apocalypse is not on the board, because Apocalypse can still do his empowered form. So right here, we're going to throw the ultimate. The ultimate is going to absolutely shatter these guys. It's like we're using a Professor Xavier ult. We'll call it a pseudo ult. And then, yeah, from that point on, you can kind of see here, we've still got Miles and Agatha on the board, but still very controllable now. We've cleared off a lot of these guys. We can throw the slow on Emma, so it gets us a couple turns. Again, with Omega Red, throw the basic, extend. And then yeah, I think I'm gonna stop commenting here, because I think from what you guys can see here, hopefully this is straightforward and it makes a lot of sense for you guys. Okay, so now this next section is going to be very difficult, and it's going to take some timing. It's going to take a bit of practice. You're going to need to bump the stats up on your Xavier to 110. You're going to need him to get to purple L5 as well, on the purple, just to kind of help improve the chances of this. But essentially, the New Mutants is going to do their thing here, take a couple hits. Xavier's going to use his ult. Boom. Everybody dies. This is exactly kind of the situation we want. We're going to get the safeguard thanks to Speedball, Speedball, Cannonball, I believe. That's the one that's responsible for the... Oh, no, I think maybe it's Magic, actually. I think it's Magic. So once you do that, control it, get the cooldowns up a little bit. We can throw the ability block. More important than anything is trying to get energy back to Xavier, because we want to make sure Xavier is ready to go for the next node, which is node number 7 when we need him next. So hopefully you guys can see that. When you kill off these guys here, the Liberty members are gonna drop as well, which is another war-powered crazy team, and hence why you want to just take your time here and take care of these guys when you can. If you're able to find another strategy that works besides this one, please let me know, because this was the only way that I could figure it out. And again, it is very reliant on your Xavier's stats because of his ultimate. So the next wave drops, and then, like I said, we'll speed it up here so you guys can see that it is fairly straightforward. Once that initial wave is done, it does get quite a bit easier. But still, we got to make sure that hopefully, if you don't want to use new mutants in the next section, it doesn't matter who dies. But I didn't know how the 660 mods were, so I wanted to make sure everybody at least lived, so that way it gives us a distinct advantage, and then that way we don't have to reset and redo another run of it. Because I don't want to be doing a gazillion runs on this, but hopefully this has helped you guys out here, and hopefully gives you guys an idea of how to tackle this one down. And I mean, yeah, for the symbiotes, use whoever. You can bring in Venom, you can bring in Quicksilver. I just found once you use the special here, and once Null gets going here, he gets a turn meter. It really never stops. And I don't know if I'm going to do too much commentary on this one because of the fact that I think out of all the nodes, if you have your symbiotes built up, if you have a 5 diamond Null, if you got a tier 20 Null, you're not gonna run you're not gonna have too many issues. And then that's it for 5. Then we go into 6 here, and 6 is, like I said, a longer one where I kind of jumped ahead because I want to save you guys a bit of time. But basically, you open up with the special and the ultimates, and you kind of wiggle down these guys as best as you can here. And then, of course, as well, the timing of this one I found to be quite effective. If you time it so that Speedball gets a turn in here, so that he applies the ability block. And you'll see that here. We try to time it just right so that Speedball goes right after Daredevil. Storm, Speedball, whoever is going to work the best here. The slow is kind of nice, but you also want to make sure you aim the slow not at Blade. If Blade gets the speed up, it's really, really bad. So this is why we want to make sure we throw the ability block on Oath and Blade. Unfortunately, the ability block doesn't land here, but we still throw the silence so that when he does his ultimate, then at least he doesn't apply his negatives as well here, because yeah, Blade's absolutely broken. So we throw the special in the back corner. This is going to get the defense down for the team. And then we do our usual thing where Daredevil can basically apply his ultimate. This is going to do some crits here because he's got the counterattack thanks to his passive, and you guys will see that it does a very decent amount of damage here. Now, Storm can... he's got the speed up already because he flipped it, so that's okay. So we'll throw the slow to, try to strip it or try to counteract it, I guess. And yeah, like I said, it's gonna take a little timing. What I like to do is I like to stun Blade so that he doesn't move, and then he stays stunned for quite some time as well here. And then yeah, you can kind of take care of the other characters. Like I said, Mefisto, there's a bit more cushion with him because if Jeff takes one turn, you're absolutely just done. Even your 5 diamonds, 4 diamond characters, they'll get nuked, right? So this is why I don't mind Note 6. It's just really long. You have to get to the Mefisto, and it takes a while to get through all the accursed members because they have a lot of healing. They got a ton of health, and they got all their crucible buffs. So it's really annoying, but it is what it is. And then, like I said, once you get through that, you can wiggle through and get through the other ones here. We'll throw the alt here for good measures, and then yeah, this just helps reapply negatives, and we got the heal block, so that's great. So they don't get their health back as well. But other than that, take care of Mefisto, and then you can kind of worry about the stragglers, and hopefully that makes sense. Okay, so 7 is absolutely hilarious because we wanted to try out Spider-Man, and it actually ended up being really fun because we put Panda Pool, Spider-Man, and again, I think I had initially I had Wolverine, and then I actually found out Panda Pool was a better setup just because he could, apply the taunts and stuff. So apologies there. But yeah, if you have a Panda Pool, if you have Wolverine, really doesn't matter who you use. It's just incredible because Spider-Man, like I said, he's just absolutely broken here. Make sure you stun Franklin so he doesn't use his ultimate, and then yeah, you can start focusing on some of these characters here. The massive amounts of bleed we got from Dakin, and again the flips from Spider-Man were just absolutely crazy. So right here, we don't want to use the ultimate because we don't want to push these guys to get a heal. So what we do is we actually end up just using basic, and then we'll save the ultimate later. And then of course as well, Apocalypse. Don't take a chance. Just punch Nightcrawler and get him done with. This should also apply a stun as well, which is kind of crappy because it's on the same target, but it is what it is. Kill Nightcrawler. He's dead. They don't have to worry about him. And now we can start focusing on some of the Fantastic Four members. Ideally, we would like to take out Franklin and Mr. Fantastic so they don't have the on-spawn taunts. And of course as well, they don't have their bonuses of a triple Fantastic 3 as well. So this is the reason why, but that's best case scenario. And again, this is just a sack wave, right? If we go in here with our Xavier, we should be able to clean up this team pretty smoothly, even if we were to die right now. But you'll see here that Spider-Man just absolutely does work here. So again, Dakin saved his ult, great. Good amount of bleeds, good amount of damage here. Spider-Man's going to fling around here and do his thing, flipping positives as well. He's just, oh man, he just does so much damage. It's crazy. Crazy how much damage he does. Okay, and that's it. So that's number 7, sack wave, and then yeah, you can come in here for the kill wave now, which, like I said, you can keep it fairly reasonable. You can bring in your new mutants, you can bring in Professor Xavier, you can bring in Old Man Logan. Lots of different options here now we can utilize, and the fact is yeah, the Spider-Man team really did a massive amount of work for us. So of course as well, we've got our Phoenix Force, so we can definitely for sure take advantage of that. We got Sebastian Shaw, who's one of my favorite taunters. So again, we could have used him with Panda Pool as well instead. But yeah, I'll leave that up to you guys, whatever you guys decide to use or whatever you have, readily available in your arsenal. But yeah, we in this case here we actually use Storm because I find that she's quite good, and she's also very fast as well. So this actually helps us out quite a bit here about getting rid of these pesky immunities is kind of nice for us. So this is why we bring her up here, and you don't have to use her if you don't want to risk it in case she does get killed. But that's just what I do, and I want to try it out and see how it goes first. So again, don't mess around. Just throw the throw. We have enough time here to get things going, and what I like to do is I like to focus on Phantom Rider just because he is kind of dangerous. So we throw the Mass Blind here, and yeah, and then that should do a decent amount of damage to him. And then yeah, like I said, we have our Phoenix Force 3 here. This is nice because Sebastian Shaw also is going to give us a taunt and a stun. This is why I like using him, and he's also quite beefy as well, which is kind of nice for us. So yeah, very very straightforward, and you guys will see that behind these characters here, because of the mass negatives, Omega Red's going to be able to extend. Magneto can blind. I don't remember if he's got the cooldowns for it, but we'll see here. But either way, we got lots of blinds already from Professor X. So this allows us to kind of build our cooldowns back up, and it allows us to control a lot of the characters here thanks to the negatives. And yeah, again, Professor X also allows trauma to be reapplied here, even though we have the buff off of it. The trauma sticks because of his passive. Characters that aren't allowed to get trauma can still get trauma because of that. So that's kind of nice for us there. So there you guys have it. Kill off Phantom Rider if you can. And like I said, it's just fairly textbook fight here, or not a lot going on, just very boring and very long. But other than that, yeah, I'll start the commentary side so you guys can just focus on the gameplay. But like I said, fairly straightforward, fairly simple and easy to do here. Once you get to this wave here. Okay, so that's the second last mutant section. And of course, as well, we'll go into the last one here. And again, like I said, this one's fun as well. If you have new mutants, if you've got Xavier still, I think it's still doable actually. If you don't have Xavier, you can definitely for sure, I think, get it done without. But like I said, the sack wave was really cool with Spider-Man. So definitely for sure use it if you can. Try it out as well. That one's pretty handy to use. And like I said, it's definitely for sure opened my eyes here. I think Spider-Man's gotten such a massive boost, so I enjoyed that. So for this one, we're going to use Havoc, and we're going to use Old Man Logan. Like I said, you can bring in probably Rachel. I'm going to bring in Sunspot, and we'll speed the footage up here because I think for the most part it's straightforward. But Old Man Logan and Xavier is going to do their thing. Thanks to the alt here, we don't need to save anything because this is our last section, so you can absolutely go crazy here and just unleash everything you've been holding back. Professor X can use his ultimate, he can use his special, you name it. We don't need to save anything else because this is the last mutant section. And we also have Sunspot here for energy. Even though he's only a level 100, I find that he just brings a lot of value to these teams. And the on-spawn offense up is nice as well for Professor Xavier's damage to take care of these early pesky guys in the early sections here. So once you take care of that, the next wave drops. And like I said, once Old Man Logan gets going, once he starts getting his crits, his ults, he becomes basically unstoppable, right? And especially with Nightcrawler on his team, making him faster, everything just gets amplified. So again, just try to take care of these last few guys here. And when the next wave drops, it's going to be not too shabs here with Old Man Logan leading the charge. He'll use his ult, cause some bleeds, some disruptions, you name it. And then Havoc, take the charge off of Apocalypse so he can't punch, so that way he can't use his ultimate, or he can use his ultimate but he just won't be able to punch. And then like I said, get the negatives across from Professor X. We can throw the special right in the cluster here. He's gonna do his thing. And like I said, it's even if you don't get this done in one shot, we still have our Phoenix Force, we still have our New Mutants, we still have Immortal X-Men, we still have Exalted X-Men. So in a way, this is almost kind of like a sack wave as well. So hopefully it makes sense for you guys trying to push for the the 660 mods, right? Like I said, Old Man Logan just absolutely shreds here. And I think that's it. I don't know if there's anything else I need to say other than watch the action and watch how these guys all bleed out. It's pretty fun to watch. Okay, so going into the last section here with the Symbiote. Again, very lengthy section, so I'm going to just cut a little bit of the start here so we get to the wave drop on the Annihilators. And once Null gets going here and uses alt, he's got Venom, he's got Quicksilver. It just makes it really hard to stop these guys once they get going. And like I said, it is fairly straightforward. I think the biggest tip here is make sure you leave Thanos last, because once he uses his passive release from 50% health, it just kills everybody. I think everybody dies except for Null and Quicksilver, which is obviously they're the only ones I have that are G20 here, so makes a lot of sense. And their stats are just absolutely through the roof, right? So hence why, like I said, it's fairly easy up until that point. You just need to make sure you don't push Thanos, because if you push Thanos, then it makes it a little more difficult. And hopefully you guys can see that there. Otherwise, fairly straightforward. Like I said, just do what null does, right? Target, slow, AoE, get the speed bar. It really doesn't matter that they get energy either, because we just kill them. We kill them so fast, and we're just building so much turn meter. And if they get healed up, it actually helps us even more, because I think we get more turn bar, right? If they drop below like 30% or whatever, right? If I'm not mistaken. But correct me if I'm wrong here. So other than that, fairly straightforward up until the end. Okay, and that was yeah, that's the second last node here. We've already ran node 10. We've already done the gameplay of it, and we've already done the commentary as well. If you guys need to see it, like I said, I've got the commentary side of things in the description in a different video. But yeah, I'm not gonna do the commentary side of things again. I run a TLDR. I run a sack wave with the Shadow Conclave. Doesn't matter what the size is. They just need to absorb the Blue Marvel ult. Otherwise, they one-shot all our characters just because our character stars are not in the diamonds. And then once you get the sack wave in, you can bring in your kill wave, and your kill wave will be able to make short work of it. And I do prefer this node out of the 3, 1, 6, and 10. I do prefer this one the most because it's the shortest at a lot of preparation time, right? We only have 5 characters to worry about at the start. We don't really need to build up and go through the Sinister Six and the Accursed. It's fairly easy. We just focus Blue Marvel. We take care of Blue Marvel. Then we go after the other stragglers, because Living Mummy usually just kills himself. And then you go after Captain Britain, and then you leave Hank or Black Cat last. Usually you want to leave Black Cat last, because Hank would be problematic for the next wave, just because there would be 2 Hanks, and 2 Hanks would be very difficult to deal with. But anyways, guys, hopefully this guide has helped you guys out. Hopefully you guys are able to kind of see start to finish of what I did for the 600 mods. And let me know in the comments below if you guys run into any issues, and if you guys were able to get some value out of this video as well. Please share it with anybody else that's pushing for the leaderboards, and of course as well trying to get the most out of it as well here before she is gone. There's still quite a bit of time on the event, so I'm sure the leaderboards are going to fluctuate, and I don't know if I'm going to push for another one here, just between all the stuff going on with the Blade Tower and all the other stuff going on. I just don't have time, but if time permits, maybe I'll try for one more run. But yeah, I think 660 is kind of where I'm at here in terms of my max capacity, at least until my characters or at least in diamonds or something like that. And my 4-star Eclipse can only go so far. So that's kind of the problem there in itself. Other than that, guys, always appreciate you guys' time. Always appreciate you guys tuning in. I'll see you guys in the next one.